Good morning, Yankee Nation. How you guys doing this morning? How's everybody on a pretty nice New York summer's day? How is everyone? I'm sure everybody's got a little pep in their step now that the New York Yankees are now 1-for-1. And we're really all happy about that. So let's forget about the past. We're going to move to the future. We got a nice day off today, but not a day off for Mania fans. So we're going to have the show this morning. We're actually going to end in an hour. I do have an assignment to do at around 9:30ish this morning. Actually, something for the show. And at 4 o'clock, we are going to come back with an ex-world champion baseball player, Adrian Chambers, who played for the World Championship St. Louis Cardinals. So look forward to that at 4 o'clock. And also today, even though there's a day off with the play-by-play with Ken the Ugly Truth, he is going to have a stream for an open panel tonight at 7 p.m. So look forward to that, everyone. And I'm really hoping maybe I can lend a little something to Ken, who does a great job no matter what he's doing. We will bring up Jonathan in a couple of minutes. Also, Evan is on assignment this morning. He had a few things he had to take care of, so he gives his best to everyone in the stream and in the chat and NY Mania, and he will be back tomorrow morning. So I want to take care of a little business. Hey, fans, if you're looking for some great sports gear, well, don't look any further. Go to Alpha Sports at 6202 20th Avenue in Brooklyn for the finest selection in Calvin Klein, Adidas, Puma, and more. Just ask for Mike at 718-232-5813. That's 232-5813. Or visit their website at amosports.com. amosports.com. And please tell them that Yankee Mania sent you. I have seen the website. Guys, go to it. It doesn't matter if you live in Brooklyn or you live in Florida. Let me tell you, there's some really nice gear there, and he takes pride in what they do. So go to Amos Sports, and if would like for me to just to make sure that you know it, Amos AMOSSPORT.com. So thank you, Amos, for being with us and being a part of NY Yankee Mania. So again, thanks so much. Don't forget, 1 week, actually less than 1 week, we are going to have Lindsay Berra on NY Yankee Mania for a very, very special live broadcast. She is, of course, the granddaughter of Yogi Berra. And let me tell you the stories that she's going to give us. I am so looking forward to that. That show's going to be amazing. And then the day after that, another special show with Caterina Michio. She's an actress, a well-known actress. She is a filmmaker, and she's an artist. And that will be at 4 o'clock next Thursday. So there's a lot going on, guys, and a lot more surprises. Remember one thing, 500 subscriber, somebody's going to win $100. And you're going to get that money immediately. If you have, you can download Zelle or Venmo right away if you don't have it, and you'll have that in your account within seconds. And there may be another surprise on that day too. To thank each and every one of you for 500 subs. That means the world to us here at NY Yankee Mania. 25% of you still watching us have not subscribed. It was at 33, now it's at 25. You watch every day, please. 1 minute. Just come in, subscribe. You can go right back to what you're doing. I really appreciate that. We all would here at NY Yankee Mania. Good morning to Richard. Good morning to Charles, baseball purist. FJ, how you doing? Let's see who else is on here. So Jeff, how are you? Real Bill, how you doing? How you feeling? How's the family? In the chat here on the phone, we have Kevin. We have Bob Rizzo. How you doing, guys? We have Anna. Let's see. We have Sophia. How you doing? How's everything going? Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. So we got some business out of the way. Now we're going to bring up the business of Yankee talk, and that is the master of information, Jonathan. Let's bring him up. Jonathan, good morning. You look nice and refreshed. How you doing?
Good.
Oh, a day off or two, and you look chipper. You look good, man. What's going on? What's your secret? Let me know.
What?
What's your secret? Let me know.
What's my secret? I don't know.
Is it just rest?
It's probably just rest.
Good.
And after a Yankee win, I guess.
Yeah, right. And a Yankee win. Well, let's talk about a little bit of the Yankee win. What was your take out of it? Did you see some points that might bring them in the right direction? Talk to us.
Well, the game was in the afternoon, so I only caught the last inning, and the rest I watched on the radio, listened on the radio, and I also watched on the computer. But Judge was looking good. He got a hit. He did strike out, but he got a walk. Chisholm did nothing at the plate. One thing I noticed about Chisholm and Wells, especially those, they seem to the Yankees, those players in particular, do not take their walks, and that's a very big problem with the Yankees. You cannot have the starting pitcher lasting until the end of the seventh inning with less than 100 pitches. The Yankees of the 90s and 2000s would never let a starting pitcher go into the seventh inning.
What do you think? Are you happy with them taking out Williams as the closer?
Yes,
or do you think they should keep it?
I think Williams should. He probably has too much pressure on him for some reason. Either it's playing in New York or I have no idea, but I think it was a smart move using Bednar as the closer. I think he should stay there, and Williams should be the setup guy, along with Luke Weaver.
The one thing that I'm a little concerned about right now is Chaz Chisholm. I know he had a decent game in the field yesterday, but he is lost at the plate, Jonathan. What do you think? What do you think the problem is? Is he just going for home runs? Well,
I think so.
What do you see there?
I think if you look at his swings, he has so much of an uppercut swing that he's thinking about the home run too much rather than just get on base and let the other guys knock out. His goal, if I was to talk with him, I said your goal should be get on base and steal. One thing the Yankees do not do, and this is something I've disliked the strategy for a long time. They do not use their speed. Volpe doesn't steal. Judge Chisholm doesn't steal as often as he should, and I have no idea why.
Mm-hmm. And so far, to be honest with you, Carabello, except for one stolen base, which he scored on a base hit by McMahon in the Miami series, he really hasn't done anything worthwhile in the field or even at that bat. But it's small. It's a small sample, and I do understand that.
Well, I do not understand why the Yankees in particular is so against stealing bases. They don't work on. They haven't worked on it the last couple of years. Ever since Boone has been the manager, they don't steal really. And
Yeah, no, I agree with you. You're right.
honestly, I think the Yankees need to move on from Boone. I think so.
So you think this is in your opinion, no matter what, the last hurrah for Boone?
I don't. I can never say that in guarantee, but I think this team needs
A new voice.
a new voice because you can. The one thing I dislike about Boone so much, and I know it's part of his job, but it's still he gives excuses for the players so much that when you hear him talk, you almost want to break your television because it's so frustrating
I
to
don't think it's
hear.
that bad.
It's so frustrating to hear that what he's saying is, yes, we just saw the game, but for example, that base running mistake by Jazz a couple games ago, you don't need to go into so detail to basic. By the way he talks makes you it feels like sticking a dagger and twisting it. It makes the situation worse with what he says, and that's one thing. It's tiring, really. It's just
Yeah, well,
excuses.
yeah, you hear one of his speeches, and that's it. I totally understand what you're saying. I mean, he says the same thing. Whether it's a win or a loss, it doesn't really matter to him. He's going to say the same thing over and over and over again. No question
Well,
about that.
this is the one problem with not with having a manager that's too much. Maybe the manager of baseball should go back to what they were intended to do, which is lead the players, not be a talking point for the players, not be an excuse, not be a, a voice or I don't know what's the word, but it's just it's a little bit tiring to hear after a manager, especially after a loss, saying, "Yes, we were up by 4 runs, but they because they gave up 5 runs, and this could have been better." No, they made in a game like they had a couple weeks ago. They made mistakes, and you just say, "I'm going to talk with them." And hope, and we're hoping this will never happen again. Have a more positive discussion after seeing a loss rather than having an excuse for the loss.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well said, Jonathan. All right, let's take a couple. Let's take some stuff from the chat. I'm going to start out with this: the baseball purist. If Joe, if I win the $100, I want you to donate to Sarah Lang's autism. You got it, baby. I'd be more than happy to do that. We'll work it out. If you win, you'll get the credit for it, but I'd be more than happy to do that. Kudos to you. That is very, very, very nice. And I will definitely do that for you if you win. I promise you. Richard, remember how three home runs put people in the seats. The guys that hit singles don't make the same money and don't get the hype. Right, right. But the guys
Yes.
that get the singles, 9 times out of 10 in the playoffs, are the ones that are going to get you the world championships. You got
Yeah,
to think of that.
and that's the big problem that's one big problem baseball has switched to since the '98 steroid year. They rely too much. Teams like the Yankees sometimes rely too much on the home run without thinking. Maybe a long double to the gap can just move along the runner, and maybe the next guy can do the rest, and eventually you get the home run. It's a the game is more than just home runs. You have to remember that home runs, yes, home runs are exciting, but it's not everything. You cannot try to hit a home run every time you're at the plate.
Mm-hmm.
That will
That's
just give
true.
you strikeout too
But
much.
that looks like it's the Yankee philosophy for the
Well,
last
and
couple of years.
it's the wrong philosophy, and that's
Well,
why they went in such a big slump.
obviously, it's not getting them that far.
It's
Nick the
never
Gamer,
worked.
welcome to the stream. How you doing? Yesterday game proves that Boone isn't blah blah blah. He just doesn't make smart moves for most of the games. If we continue to lose, he will get fired, no doubt about it. But Nick, I agree with you. There is smarts up there. He's just got to use it a little bit better. That was a great thing that he went out to talk to David, the closer, and he left him in there and he gave him a chance. So Nick, thank you, and thanks for joining the stream. Please don't forget to like the program and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's go to D-Train. Real Bill is known fact that the Yankees believe in home runs or nothing. Many Putin's in baseball have confirmed that this is their philosophy. Michael Kay and many others have stated this. Yes, D-Train, that is 100% correct. They do go for the home run too much, and they really, really need to concentrate on what to do during the playoffs and all that, because it's not going to be that easy, and that's a problem.
Think of this: if that philosophy really worked, why did they lose an 8-game lead in the East? Maybe that loss of 8 games and where they are now should show them that philosophy is not a good philosophy.
It's not. And waiting in the wings, we have another co-host here in the morning show, and that's going to be Sean Browning. Sean Browning, good morning. Thanks for pitching in. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are y'all?
Not too bad. Not too bad. As you know, we have Jonathan right above you, and
Oh,
so your a little take on I know we discussed it yesterday, but a little take on Boone's managing yesterday. What did you think about it?
oh no, he pushed all the right buttons, and the team executed when it needed to execute. We could have gotten better execution on the offensive front, but as far as the bullpen and you know what rode on, I I can't complain with Boone because you know a lot of times we're like, why did he put this guy in or leave? No, but he did everything, and he stayed away from a couple troublemakers that would have cost us the game. So,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
no, I agree with you. I agree with you. Do you guys like the lineup that's constructed? I mean, I'm a little disappointed, and that goes into FJ's next comment. A little disappointment in in Big G. He's fading quickly, but you've got no choice. I mean, if you want Aaron Judge in the lineup, all he can do is DH, and they have that big problem with Big G, and that is a big problem. So you're only going to see Big G pinch hit until Judge can play the outfield, and that's very unfortunate for the Yankees and for Big G too. And you don't
what?
see him complaining. He's not complaining. He's not that type. I give him a
No,
lot of credit.
Do
you
you
know,
think they'll ever give him an outfield game?
yeah, they might, but it would have to be like a park like Yankee Stadium in right field where you can kind of use the dimensions to help him, help cover his, lack of range as far as speed. Um, or like if you put him in left field in Boston, but we're not playing in either of those. Well, we're going to be playing in Yankee Stadium, but the thing is, Big G is such a team player, and G and Judge are both needed in the lineup, to have the ultimate success. The problem is, like he was saying, is we don't want to just throw Judge out there when he's having issues with his elbow without making sure that he can throw the ball without flaring up, um, and risk injuring that strain further.
Exactly. Just want to clear up something. Bill O, the Yankees are off tomorrow. Okay, you got it. Okay, no problem. Just wanted to make sure everybody knows there is no game tonight. We always get a taste of what happens when the Yankee season is over. So keep enjoying it. That's why I say don't get too crazy, don't get too upset, because win, lose, or draw in a little over a month or so, we're not going to have baseball. So let's enjoy whatever we can. If you're a big baseball fan,
A
you
month.
have to like us.
We have more like 7 weeks.
Well, it does go fast, Jonathan. I mean, before you turn around, August is going to be gone, and that's just the way of life. It flicks before your eyes. Let's go to Charles. Hey, Charles. Good morning. The Yankees need to do more fundamental baseball. So, they got to stop with all these home runs and do fundamental. That's right, Charles. 100%. This is not going to work in the playoffs, and we all know that. If they don't score the normal way, they are not going far. Go ahead.
Well, you know what's worse than over relying on home run or bust is this one pitch, two pitch at bat outs. Where when you're giving, instead of grinding out a pitcher on the opposing team, you're allowing him to only pitch 5 pitches in an inning. There's 2 of your outs were on one pitch outs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. The Yankees need to work the pitcher and get the starting pitcher out in the 4th and 5th inning. They don't do that. They haven't done that this year, and for that reason, they've lost 7 games lead in the East.
Yeah, you look at it. What do? The best teams and the great teams that are gonna have success, they'll grind out. They grind out pitchers 1 through 9. And by the time you get to the 4th or 5th inning, you got them close to 90 to 100 pitches.
Yep. Totally agree.
The Yankees went away. I don't know why the Yankees went away from that philosophy, but
they sure did.
Look, a lot of things would have been different. They've made a lot of choices over the last, I would say, 15 years. The biggest mistake, and I understand why they did it, but the biggest mistake was not signing Harper. Harper would have given them the lefty hitting power in a mostly right-handed dominating lineup for the last couple of years.
Yeah, true. But at the same time, though, we see it when we rely on like 1 or 2 people, to carry the lineup, and it wears us down. Look at this. Can you say it carried our lineup this year? Judge, Bellinger, and either a combination of Goldschmidt, Grisham, and a couple other contributing factors, but it's mainly been Judge and Bellinger.
Yep, you're right.
Well, for some reason, the Yankees changed their philosophy after when they hired Boone, and I know Girardi only won 1 World Series and didn't get back again, but they had a different philosophy.
They had a different
creating a lineup.
Yeah, and then he will not come back. He will not.
The difference.
I know he won't come back. That's not my point is not about Girardi. My point is about creating a lineup that works.
Yeah, no, you're right.
They were better at doing that before Boone was the manager.
Mm-hmm. Hey guys, I want to give a programming note. 4 p.m. today, we will be on with former World Championship star Adron Chambers, who played for the world champion St. Louis Cardinals at 4 p.m. This was courtesy of Nitin and his team. So at 4 o'clock, He also has a book out. He's going to be talking about his book. He's going to be talking about what it's like, what was it like to be a world champion, to be in the World Series, and all of that good stuff. And he has a lot of good stories to talk to us about. So please come back at 4 p.m. The link is already out. If you want to say something, ask a question, he will be answering questions. And whoever asks questions first will be the first one up there. So I definitely would appreciate. Remember, we are back at 4 p.m. with that special show. So I hope you look forward to it, and I'm looking forward to it. And it's always Major League Baseball. So I wanted to make sure and remember everyone to come back at 4 p.m. please. Let's get back to the chat here, everyone. Let's see what we have. Richard, Satchel Paige was a junk pitcher. It's a totally different game today. Even at the height of pitching mound has changed. If they want pitchers to dominate, they should just raise the mound.
Well, that's
Yeah.
that's going to be a problem because one reason why they lowered the mound is because baseball realized offense is what people want to see. People
Yeah.
want to see offense. That's why after '68, when they had a pitcher's year and with nobody, I think the highest batting average that year was 301.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no,
So
I hear you.
Baseball is run by offense, not pitching. Even though on paper it should be run by pitching, but fans like offense.
yeah,
Yes.
I mean,
Guys, we have some Met fans on here right now, and I want to switch gears for a couple of seconds, a couple of minutes. Score, how you doing? Good morning. He's saying hello to the chat, and he's just annoyed by the Mets. I don't know how much you guys have seen the Mets or read about it. What's going on with that team? I mean, they just got swept by the Cleveland Guardians, who's not, that they're not a superpower. They're an okay team that made trades to get rid of players. They have problems with gambling players, and yet they took care of the Mets at Citi Field. What is going on there?
Well, the Mets. One thing the Mets didn't do, they focused on a lot of offense this past year, and they didn't focus enough on their pitching.
But they just got the best closer.
yeah, but they got their closer, one of the best closers in the game. But the bullpen was already pretty much shattered, and probably more gassed than ours. And the pitching staff. I mean, you're relying on a converted reliever to give you innings in
Well,
Clay Holmes.
he's done pretty decent though.
No. Yeah, no, Holmes is done. But what I'm saying is Holmes has done fine as he's converted. I mean, and I'm wishing well. But when you're relying on him to be one of your workhorses, that there's still an issue with that. I mean, you look at it. You got Senga, who's pretty much your ace. Your Montas just came back from injuries, but yeah, you're trying to paste together a rotation that's pretty much shattered with injuries, and and then your bullpen is overused, just like ours. And even if you've got all the offense, like they're heavily relying on, it's gonna struggle. I mean, you remember how we were. We had one of the strongest bullpens a couple of years ago, but we overused it.
Right. The one thing that the Mets have to rely on is very simple. Manaya's got to be Manaya now. He can't give them like 4 or 5 innings, throw 100 pitches, and then leave the game. That's gonna come back and really bite them bad. I mean, obviously, right now they're in the playoffs, but if you're gonna rely on Montas and people like that, I mean, David Peterson is a very good pitcher. he may be their ace right now, to be honest with you, until Mania shows Mania type stuff.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
I'm not even sure. I'll be honest with you. Is Singer hurt again, or is he pitching? Does anybody know?
I'm not sure. I mean, I know he's been having issues with some of the injuries, and he may be still coming back from the injury that he had. But and then here's the thing, Montas. You don't know what you're gonna get out of Montas.
No.
But we need but they need Montas to be like what he was in Oakland. Well, when the A's were in Oakland. But and then here's the thing. Remember when we had Nestor Cortez and he had that career year with innings pitched and all that stuff? And then the next year he kept having shoulder problems.
Yes.
I'm afraid that might happen with Holmes, even though he's doing great now. But if um, but if they rely too much on him, they're gonna be having issues getting him back on the field next year.
Well, it's sort of like with the Yankees with Louis Seal. I mean, what are we really going to get from this guy? I mean, obviously Sunday was not a great performance, and we really need him.
Heel is coming back. Heel hasn't pitched all year. He came back just in August.
Right.
He needs a few times. He needs 3 or 4 starts to be really warmed up.
Yeah.
This year, think of it this way. This year, anything you can get from Heel is basically a bonus.
Right. And then remember, we had this problem with Luis Severino. Both guys have electric arms, but for whatever reason, they pitch great and then get hurt. And then it takes a while for them to get back. And then it takes a while for them to get up toward pitching to their potential. But I mean, Luis Hill won AL Rookie of the Year last year. And he can prove that he can handle it. But the problem, like Jonathan was saying, is that he's still ramping up right now.
Mm-hmm.
But we're out of necessity. We're having to use him instead of letting him ramp up in the minors and then bringing him back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he probably could have used another start in the minors.
Yeah, another 1 or 2, but because of Stroman and the injury to Schmidt, we had to bring
Schmidt especially.
Yeah, Schmidt especially because
and Cole missing the year.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
but if Cole and Schmidt were on this team, Heel would have been back at his own pace, not at a rush pace.
Right.
Well said. Richard goes, Yankee fans' biggest enemy, the Red Sox, and Roger Clemens jumped right to the Red Sox and then back to the Yankees for the almighty dollar. But Richard, you got to remember one thing. There was not only the dollar, but George Steinbrenner wanted Clemens in the worst way. Like Soto was wanted by the Mets in the worst way. Clemens was not. Steinbrenner was not going to be denied. And if he had to get rid of David Wells, he did. But he was not going to be denied with Roger Clemens. He was going to get him one way or the other. And that's what happened with Clemens. So it's not so much the Yankees wanted him.
At that time, the Yankees could have had in that offseason, they could have also signed Randy Johnson instead.
Yeah. And then remember this. George Steinbrenner.
He never wanted to be here. Let's face it. Randy Johnson came here because that.
You froze.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, and to your point. Yeah, no, George Steinbrenner, when he really wanted a player, he would even go as far as to negotiate the contract himself. Or he'd make sure his GM gets him. I mean, that was with Clemens. We saw that with Gary Sheffield. We saw that with a lot of other different players that George was like, I'm going to get Jason Giambi. was
Yeah,
it 02,
he
03?
wanted a sexy name.
Yeah,
That was
or
the
and
he
then
wanted a
George
sexy.
even flew to Japan for Hideki Matsui.
Well, that I can understand. But Johnson or over Tino Martinez, I mean Giambi over Martinez, just because Giambi had a good playoff series against the Yankees, didn't make
Right.
any sense because he was weakening the defense.
One thing the Yankees, one thing I remember Pedro Martinez saying he wanted to play for the Yankees, so they had a
He
chance.
did.
He wanted to. I think they had an opportunity to trade for him in
Yeah.
'97.
We had an opportunity in '97 to get him from the Expos,
Right,
Yeah,
but
right. No,
George didn't. George didn't really want him, or it was something that fell through, and then the Red Sox swept them up.
yeah, and that would have been if the Yankees got Pedro in '97. They would have been unstoppable for the next 10 years.
Oh yeah,
right.
I mean, can you imagine?
The
The other
98
thing that
the 98 season would have been even better. They would have probably won in 2001. And
Yeah,
you know,
98 you couldn't get any better than that. Come on.
I
They won
mean,
it every day.
could you imagine that? If you'd gone on a series.
might have been different.
No, I mean, could you imagine that? What it would have been like in 93, 98? Or you had El Duque, you had if you had Pedro, and then you throw in
Clemens and
Clemens. Well, Clemens wasn't on our roster in '98.
No.
no.
We traded for him in
If you got
'99. But
Pedro in if you got
we had
Pedro in '97, you probably didn't need to get a Rabu.
right.
Right. Arabu was, I used to call him Hideki, I robbed you.
Yeah.
That's what I called, but you know what? I don't want to speak of the deceased because he did kill
No.
himself. So,
Well, and Rabu, one of his best moments was what he did to Batista after they beamed Tino in that
yes.
Baltimore.
And I'll
Where
never
he-
forget. Do you remember when he gave up that long home run and and they went right on him and he went, huh? Like that. And that to me was one of the funniest things I've seen on a baseball field to that moment. So that was pretty funny. A lot of people also forget I was a little annoyed at Andy Pettit because Andy Pettit and Clemens don't forget, guys, they went that 1 year to the Houston Astros, and that hurt us. That hurt us big time. And I didn't like the fact that they it looked like they were in cahoots with each other to go to the Astros because they both wanted to play for the Astros. So it took me a while to get back on the Pettit train when he came back.
Yeah, no, it was annoying when Pettit went, but you also got to remember he's from the Houston area, and I think there might have been something he was going through where he wanted to play closer to home. But yeah, I mean, but he's still a Yankee for life.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah,
you're right. Also, FJ says the George offered Mariano Rivera to the Expos for Martinez. George offered Mariano Rivera for Felix Fermin, a light hitting shortstop with the Indians. I wouldn't have minded Martinez, but not that I was a big fan of Pedro Martinez. But George, if it would have been up to George, oh my God, the team they would have given away. And thank God for G. Michael, rest in peace. If he didn't stop him, he says, if you trade Mariano Rivera right now, I quit. I'm done.
I think George Steinbrenner was just no, he wasn't suspended in '97. He was
suspended in the early '90s, and that was back when Well, he was suspended in the late '80s, but then also for like 3 years, in the early '90s. Because remember, he wanted at one point around the time when he was suspended or still coming back from suspension, he wanted to trade the whole core four.
Correct.
As prospects.
Right. And Bill O said, don't forget he wanted Jeter gone too. You're right.
Yeah.
We almost lost Jeter because of Cashman. Cashman with the last deal did he told them go out there and find a deal. And Derek Jeter still to this day has not forgiven that.
Well, no,
And
I disagree. I don't think FJ. I don't think that was in 1947. I think it was a straight up deal because the Red Sox and Yankees owners were drunk. It had nothing to do with the next one.
yeah, no, I see
yeah,
it.
no. Where it would have been DiMaggio for Williams.
DiMaggio for
But
Williams. It had nothing to do
but as
with
the story was, both GMs.
because of Derek Jeter.
Yeah,
Both
no, but
GMs
both
were
GMs
drunk.
and that were
Guys,
drunk.
one at a
Both
time because they're
owners-
not going to understand you.
Both
Go ahead.
owners were drunk and discussing a trade while they were drunk. And in the morning, when they were not drunk, they decided it was a bad decision. So it had nothing to do with Yogi Berra.
Mm-hmm. Sean, is that do you agree with that?
Yeah, no, that's what I was trying to get at. Like, it was a conversation. Both guys were drunk and they were, whatever. And then I realized, oh, wait a minute, we can't do that.
Richard goes, who was George Steinbrenner's first major sign for the Yankees trivia, and it changed the seating of arrangements in Yankee Stadium because he signed that player.
Wasn't it Catfish Hunter was his
Well,
first
Catfish
major
Hunter, but
signing?
that first year they played at Shea Stadium.
Yeah,
So
well,
I could say the first major signing has to be Reggie Jackson in 1977. He made other moves, but a lot of them came through trades and pitching. But the biggest hitting move was Reggie Jackson back in
Jackson was the biggest
1977.
winner. First
Right.
major signing. But this question is not specific enough for Yankee trivia because
yeah,
you're
because I
saying
mean,
the first major signing for George Steinbrenner, but the first major signing
Right,
it
Dietrich.
was not the first major signing. It was the first major
hitter.
hitter. Not the
Yeah,
first major signing.
because 70 he took over in 74, 73. 74, I know. I was a young guy covering the Yankees on New Year's Eve, and he signed Jim Catfish Hunter, and that started changing the philosophies that he was going to go all out and not only depend on the minor leagues but spend money. Then the next year, he basically didn't do too much, but there were trades. You got Chris Shambles. So you started to see that. And then in 76, it was all trades, like an Oscar Gamble, to just to say something. So these were the guys, a Bucky Dent in 77. So a lot of them came in trades. Then he started going nuts with free agents all the way up to Dave Winfield in 80 and 81. Yeah, so that's how that all got started.
Dave Winfield is what his decision is what got him suspended.
Right. Well, yeah, because he was mad at Dave Winfield for not leading the Yankees to the World Series. But he basically did. In 1980, they were ousted by Kansas City thanks to George Brett. And in 81, they lost to the Dodgers in the World Series thanks to Fernando Valenzuela. So, George got crazy for really no reason. He lost his mind because in 82, he lost Jackson, and they were going with the Bronx Bunters. They had gotten Dave Collins, Ken Griffey Jr., which was a good sign. Ken Griffey Sr., I'm sorry. And so they went from power team to speed team, and it didn't work.
Didn't we also have Bobby Bonds then?
What was that?
Didn't we also have Bobby Bonds around that time?
No. Bobby Bonds was traded for Bobby Mercer in December of 1974.
Okay.
And then Bonds was played 1 year for the Yankees at Shea Stadium, hit 30 homers, 30 stolen bases, then was traded in the offseason for Mickey Rivers and Ed Figueroa. And that put the Yankees into the promised land. That trade was fantastic.
But
yeah.
No, and the thing too was you got to remember this. When George bought the team in 90 or in 74, 73,
Mm-hmm.
Yankees were owned by CBS for a while.
Oh, pathetic.
You know,
Cheap.
after
The cheapest organization you ever wanted to see in your life. And they continued that for a very long time, even when they sold the Yankees.
right.
I mean, CBS must be knocking themselves on the head because they sold it for what, $10 million, and now
$10 million.
the Yankees are now worth $8 billion.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that was a pretty shrewd deal from George Steinbrenner and his family.
And I was gonna say that I think that was his first big signing was when he signed the deal to buy the team.
That's not a signing though. That's just
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
I know.
it's a takeover, yes. But you know what? You know when the Yankees actually started, two things, and this is going back a little ways. Lou Piniella was one of the first trades. Yes, Bill. Oh, yes. Lou Piniella was one of the first trades that he made, and that started, and they were getting a little bit better and a little bit better to go along with Roy White, Bobby Mercer, Thurman Munson, and then he got Chris Chambliss and Greg Nettles, and that started the philosophy. You could see the Yankees were changing. They were changing. They went into the World Series in '76 after the Chambliss home run off of Mark Littell, but they were missing that one element. And sure enough, December of that year, he signed Reggie Jackson. And I said it the day they signed him, I knew they were going to win the World Series in '77. There was nothing that was going to stand in their way. And they did. And they won in '78 also.
Oh,
so that's what started the philosophy of for the Yankees as far as free agents. Yes, Kurt Flood was the first one, and that opened up the floodgates for baseball. Everybody should be kissing God bless Kurt Flood, because if it wasn't for him, who knows what if there would have been any free agency. So, but it's
anyway,
nice.
I've
Okay,
been here
Jonathan,
for
thank you so
45
much.
minutes. So
I appreciate it, and you have a great day, and we'll see you either later or tomorrow morning. Thank you, Jonathan. Have a nice day. Okay, so Sean, so sometimes it's good to go back in the Yankee land and have somebody, and I'm not saying I'm the greatest thinker and all of this, but I know exactly what happened. As a matter of fact, I still have the articles of George Steinbrenner buying the team, and it clearly states he really wanted the Cleveland Indians because he was from Cleveland.
Yeah.
When he saw he couldn't buy them, they says, "Well, you got a chance to buy the New York Yankees," and he went, "The New York Yankees? Are you serious?" And he says, "You know what? Let's look into it." And he was shrewd. He only laid out $100,000. The rest was in notes.
Yep.
And that's how we got to thank CBS, because CBS didn't spend $1 on the Yankees. They were getting washed up players like Kurt Blefary, Jerry Kenny. The only way the Yankees had stars with CBS were the rookies, but they wouldn't go out and trade. I mean, I know that seemed like the back of my hand, and I was very, very young, guys.
Yeah, and I mean CBS got it after Ed Barrow passed away, and after obviously Rupert family,
Richard,
which
one
those
thing,
two.
I gotta address this. Richard, I am not saying free agency was good. That was in the game. I didn't agree with it. I wanted to see what the way it was and people coming up from the minors and trades. I didn't never ever did I say that I liked it. I went with it because we had no choice. There's a difference. I still to today don't like it because I don't want to lose a guy. I don't want to. Do you think I wanted to lose a Juan Soto? No, of course not. But that's what it is. So I am not a proponent, and I'm going to say it right now. I am not a fan of free agency. Even if I say, even if there is a player that said that it's going to come to the Yankees that we know is going to be, no, I want it the old-fashioned way, either by trade or by what do you call it? By trade or by the minor leagues.
Right.
So please, everyone, take that out. I am not a big fan of free agency. It's done nothing but hurt the Yankees in many, many ways. Now, it has helped them, Sean, but it has hurt them in a lot of ways.
Well,
because they lost people like Pettit, Reggie Jackson, Juan Soto. I mean, you want me to go on? How many guys they lost thanks to free agency?
There's so many, but then here's the other thing, too. Across the league, it's not just the Yankees. You see it. I mean, yes, it offers people an opportunity. Let's say they're on the Rockies and they want to go somewhere else. They can do it through free agency. But the problem is you got guys like the Sotos, the Shohei Otanis, the even Vlad Guerrero would have had like I mean, you're looking at players now making upwards of 500 million, to 700 million for the Otanis and Sotos. And then you got other players who say, well, I want to ask that. And you got agents like Scott Boras and others who are going to ask for the moon for their players to sign with the team. And you know who's got to pay the price?
The fans.
Yep.
The fans.
I mean, you're looking at $1,000. You're looking at spending almost your rent money to go watch a game at a stadium.
I agree. No, Richard, I'm glad that I'm glad we cleared that out. And it's good that people know the way I'm thinking. I definitely am not it made me sick every time. In the beginning, it was like kind of neat because, they did free agency different. They had a thing where you had to pick 10 players. They had a day that they went to a hotel and all the general managers got together and let's say Reggie Jackson came up. Okay. So you say, okay, the Phillies are on his list. The Yankees are on his list. Montreal's on his list. All kinds of people. It was different. And then you had to go negotiate with him and try to beat the other team. I like that philosophy. Now, the first day you could sign with a new team. So it's a lot different. Do I agree with it? No. Philo says Tucker is going to cost the team $500 million, without a doubt, if not more. And don't look for the Yankees to go that route unless they lose Bellinger, they lose Grissom, which I'm 10 million% sure he's signing a multi-year deal somewhere. It wouldn't surprise me if he went to the Mets.
No,
go ahead.
It wouldn't surprise me. I'm pretty sure Grisham's he's gonna get a multi-year deal. I mean, the way he's been playing has been phenomenal, and he's a great player, and I wish him well. But the thing is, we got Spencer Jones waiting in the wings. So, and then you heard Bellinger. He already signaled he's willing to take less money to stay a Yankee. He's signaling to Boras that to him it's Yankees or bust. Like there's no other team he really wants to play for.
Right, exactly.
So if I was Howe and Cashman, I would almost try to negotiate with Bellinger instead of just negotiate with them directly. I already have something in, and then and then tell Boris to take it or leave it.
Correct, Sean. No, good observation. Yeah, no, really. Like I said, the Yankees made some great moves. I always look forward to. I mean, once free agency was in place, I'm not going to say I loved it, but I was looking forward to it because I knew that the Yankees were going to spend money. There's no
Mm-hmm.
question about it. The Mets, on the other hand, I kind of felt for the fans because they got some free agents, but my God, I mean, they went after George Forster, who at that time basically was almost gone. Of course, the Bobby Bonilla that they're still paying the guy. So the Mets made some really bad decisions. What the Mets were good at were trades. Frank Cashin was tremendous when he picked up
Well,
Keith Hernandez, Gary Carter, Tuffle, a lot
I
of
think.
guys, Ray Knight,
Mm-hmm.
Dykstra. I mean, they were awesome, in that respect. You know what I always tell everybody when I was on the air years ago, the Met downfall was, and no disrespect to this player, but the day that they started breaking up the team and they brought in Kevin McReynolds, the Mets just turned. Everything went sour for them. They
Oh
did
yeah.
not need Kevin McReynolds. They had guys in the outfield that were just as good, and they just let him go.
Well,
They
yeah.
let
I
him
mean,
go. And that was the downfall of the Mets, in my
um,
opinion.
yeah. Well, you remember in the '80s they drafted really well. I mean, you're looking at Darryl Strawberry, who was a rookie phenom in '86,
Right.
along with Doc Gooden, and you had a young David Cone,
Darling.
Darling,
Well, Cone
and then
for
yeah,
Ken for what? Ed Hearn or somebody like that.
right,
That was
and
one
then
of the
you
greatest trades.
and then you mentioned the Keith Henderson or Keith Hernandez, and you had Gary Carter and all those guys.
There
You
was a guy
know,
in left field. His name escapes me, but he's known for one play that in the outfield he caught the ball with one hand. I can't remember.
Mhm.
I'm seeing him playing now. If anybody could in the chat remember that, I'm gonna go. Kevin Mitchell. Thank you, Bill O. You're the best. You
Yeah.
are the best. Yeah, Kevin Mitchell and McReynolds didn't get along, but I would have kept Mitchell.
Oh yeah.
McReynolds was good with the Padres. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate that. I would have went nuts all day. He was a good player, Kevin Mitt. That
Mhm.
Met team was clutch. I mean, whether you like it or you liked them or you didn't, it was a different story. But come on, Gooden, Darling, Ojeda. I mean, the list goes Cone. The
Oh,
list
and then
goes on and on and
they
on.
also had a young Seaver too for a bit.
Well, yeah, but that was I mean, obviously in the late '60s, '70s. Seaver then was traded in '76, and then he
Yeah,
came back to the Mets in what '82, I believe, '80, something like that,
yeah,
'85.
somewhere in the '80s, but
Yeah,
but
early
he was
early '80s, but he wasn't the same, of course. I mean, he was getting up
no,
in age.
but he was
Um,
a guy that could mentor people like Doc Gooden and some of the other young guns they
yeah,
had. So
definitely. Well, guys, we unfortunately we're gonna end the stream a little bit earlier this morning, but I promise later on we'll talk as much as we can. But I do have an assignment for the show that I have to take care of. Again, it's for you guys, and so we're gonna start. Sean, start saying your finals because we really do have to get going. So go ahead. And I'm sorry for the shortest for an hour stream this morning, guys. It's usually at least an hour and a half. But go ahead, Sean.
no, no worries. I mean, life is you gotta do what you gotta do. But and the thing with the Yankees, guys, and the rest of the season, we just gotta get out there. We gotta play. our baseball, um, and do what we can and let the rest just take care of itself.
Yes.
So I mean, don't panic. I mean, we're still in a wild card. You know, things are starting to shape for him. And some of these Cashman moves are paying off. So just
We got to hang.
relax, enjoy.
We got
Yeah,
47, 48 games left. We got to hang in there. Sean, I can't thank you enough for pinching in this morning. That very, really cool for Evan, who was out on assignment this morning. So we're doing a lot of nice things here. And Sean, you are definitely a nice big part of NY Yankee Mania, and we appreciate it. Thank you. So I
yep,
want
no
to
problem.
and I want to tell everybody, don't forget, please come back for the special show at 4 p.m. with former World Series champion Andron Chambers, courtesy of Nitin and his sports crew and his team. He will be talking about being a world champion. He has a book out. It's a lot of fun. The link is out. Start asking your questions. Hey, listen, whenever you have a World Series champion on the show, it's a must listen and watch. Subscribe and press the like button, everyone. Thank you so much. I apologize for the little shorter stream today, but it's all worth it. Trust me when I tell you that. Thank you so much. Thank you for everybody in the chat, including Richmond Valley Pharmacy. Thank you so much. Alpha Sports, thank you for being basically our real first a sponsor here on NY Yankee Mania, and looking forward for a lot more. Thank you, everyone. God bless you all. Have a great day. And it's just for a little while. We will see you at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. NY Yankee Mania. We have a championship show for you. Have a great day. Sean, enjoy. We'll talk to you later. God bless you all. God bless America. God bless the Yankees. 4 p.m., everyone. Subscribe. Thank you.